So this morning I was watching this couple earlier and I've forgotten what they were saying or anything, but I was thinking that I want to do a video with them too. I've just randomly pressed 11 minutes 48 seconds on the video. Um, um, the guy, I kind of think I agree with his terms more, but they're both talking to, or but both believe that they can talk to a spirit called Cryons. Mind-blowing stuff. So I don't know who Cryon is, but I think it's someone that they think is giving them information and stuff. I agree a lot more with what the guy is saying rather than what the female is saying. I think the female's completely off points when it comes to talking about this, but I just want to kind of show what they're saying.
For what happens here. Humans do whatever they do here with their own free choice. They have to live whatever they do here. But when the lifetime is done, you go back to this beautiful source, which is pure and complete loving. You start to understand why you were here, what you did, and then when you come in again, there are things called Akashic Record, karma.
I find it really strange how people who know nothing about what happens after they die love to go on camera and talk about how they know exactly what happens. So after you die, you go somewhere else and you feel this loving experience, and there's these things called the Akashic Records, and I don't know what he's going to say next, but I just don't understand how someone could preach something about something they know nothing about. It would, like me, I know nothing about seal biology. It would be like me saying that, so a seal's biology, they have the intestines, they have organs, and then just going into details and maybe just thinking about all the things that I know about a human body, and then just talking about the seal being like, yeah, they have 2 kidneys, they have a bladder, they have, I don't know, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But what they're doing is like teaching something that they know nothing about. Like, say they've never done any study on what the seal anatomy is like, and they're just saying whatever they believe is the truth based on the knowledge that they feel that other people have taught them about their belief. I don't understand how people can come and act like they know. When you die, you go there. When you die, this happens. When you die, you get this, and you don't know this. Why are you saying things that you don't know are true?
All these things that may influence things that would push you into doing other things. But there is no judgment. And there's more than one life. There's life.
There is no judgment. Even though I have no clue what happens. I have no clue if there's judgment or not. But I'm going to say there is no judgment. Why? Why? If you're not God, if you're not the one who knows about the afterlife, because you haven't actually been there, then how can you preach anything? I don't understand how people can just preach about something when they know, I am God, but I know nothing about the afterlife. All I know is that I am not going to say something if I don't know something. If I don't know what the truth is, I might give my opinion, but I'll express it as an opinion. I wouldn't just say, I know that there is no judgment. I think there is a judgment. I think it's done by the Matrix, and I think it's done through where you go next in your next life. But I don't know the exact details about how it judges or how it determines, which souls go into a farm body or an animal farm body, or which go. I don't know. I can't say, but I know what my higher self would do. But I've got evidence that I'm God. I've got evidence that I'm God, and I've got evidence that my higher self thinks in a similar kind of way to how my lower self thinks. But yes, my higher self knows a lot more than I do. Hence, I'm not going to be preaching about something that I don't know. I want to see the evidence of it, and I just don't understand how people can just start saying things that they don't know anything about.
And life, and life, and life, and life, and we come and go and come and go. These kinds of things, even the idea of reincarnation, was laughed at and poo-pooed until I did some studying and realized the first organized system, a sacred system on Earth, the first thing that they gave us was reincarnation. It was like the intuitive thought when they arrived on the scene and gave it to us. There are more on this planet right now who believe.
I have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to who gave it to us when they arrived on the scene and gave it to us. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like cave people a long time ago? Did they just give Who? I'm confused. But reincarnation is I guess it's a feeling. It's a feeling that my parents are nothing like me because why? Oh, I think I've had a different life where I had different parents, and maybe that's the reason why. And I had a different life, and you know, sometimes you just have memories or feelings that you and your parents are different. And okay, the Matrix has put you together, so the Matrix has obviously seen similarities, but reincarnation is a feeling that most people have. And I think when you're taught about Christianity and the feel good feel of knowing that God loves you and God will do everything for you, I think when you start feeling and believing in that, you start falling away from the truth, and you start believing in insanity. Christianity is an insane belief. What God loves you and is going to do everything for you. You're just going to have to suffer on earth, and that's it. I mean, where's the sanity in that religion?
Believe in reincarnation than don't. I didn't know that. I didn't put that.
He said more people believe in reincarnation than don't. I don't know what the tests are. I would love to see what the results are to people, the number of people who believe in reincarnation. You know, I don't think it's actually as high as what he thinks. He said half more people believe in it than you don't. Is that the truth? I really, I don't know. I don't know where he's getting his information from.
Together. And so we are in this training. If perhaps you were born into the U.S. or whatever, we're minorities. If you don't think that you come around again, so that's all mixed in your question. There is no heaven and hell. It's a construct of punishment and reward.
And again, you don't actually know if there's a heaven or hell. I would say that there is a hell. Oh, you need to just look at what chickens are going through in their in these sheds and stuff. You know, that there is a hell, because hell is defined by a place where you suffer. And well, there are a lot of people on earth who are living in hell because they are going through horrible situations. You know, there's plenty of people that were sold as slaves or sex slaves, or you know, imprisoned in just nightmare in a nightmare, and they don't enjoy it, and that is hell. And then there are plenty of people who are rich and have nice big houses and can just do what they want, and you know, and they're living in heaven. So you know, heaven and hell is actually real. It's just not it's not of another world. That's what heaven and hell exist in all sorts of realms, actually. If heaven and hell is only just you being happy versus you being sad, or you living a good life versus you living a bad life, then in every world that there is, every planet that has life on it, you know, there will always be them who are suffering and them who are happy. It would be good if we can have a more balanced world where there will be less suffering and more happiness. But some people suffer because they just make some really bad choices, and if you're making bad choices, you might not even see suffering in the same way as how others would see it. You know, if you've gone through a really shitty life, but your life just keeps getting just a little bit better, then even though your life might be really, really shit compared to other people's, you can get enjoyment of just knowing that it's better than what it was. You know, I've had a really shit life, but I can also be glad that I have a bed. When I was a cave woman, I didn't have a bed. I would have had a flea-infested thing to lie on, and so I appreciate my bed. That is the one thing that helps me through the day. I have a horrible life, but I appreciate my bed. I appreciate that I have a warm house, and you know, my hell can be made better if I just think about the better things
that we and our brains think must be there because that's the way we handle it. Beautifully said. Beautifully
I
said.
think it also opens up, at least for me and my background, raised as Roman Catholic, that definitely was taught about heaven, hell, and a place called purgatory. If you didn't behave, this is where you would go. And then you have Cryon coming along to help us with this programming to say, there is no heaven and hell. Please understand, all of you are born magnificent. All of you.
I have no idea what this Cryon thing is, but all of you are magnificent. That's just calming people by telling them what they want to hear. I don't know if that does sound like, I think she's talking about a spirit that trying to give knowledge and wisdom to people. But yeah, some people don't deserve to be. What it is this psycho killer that, well, psycho caller, not psycho killer, caller that calls me up to tell me he likes to fuck my mum. You know, is he magnificent? Is that an example of someone who's magnificent? You know, I think when you talk to people, some people like to just think about the positive, and they kind of forget that you could be talking. Anyone could be watching this video. Some maddo that's just stabbed someone might have just might be watching this, and then and you're telling them that they're magnificent.
Come back to, as we just explained with the ice cube melting, back to home, back to source, back to the creator. And I think it was challenging.
As you said, you know, when you die, you go back to source, back to creator. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know that the creator, the source, isn't actually alive on Earth right now? Because then that would just be like you just coming back to Earth and getting reincarnated. But yeah, a lot of people like to talk about things they know nothing about and make out that they know. This is what happens. You go back to the creator. Yeah, well, I'm the creator and I'm living on Earth right now.
To reconcile this program, because in this program of heaven and hell, you have this kind of sense of justice that if someone has done horrible things, they are going to be punished as they deserve. And so we know that our brain wants to reconcile, and that's why this conversation I don't think could happen with my mother, because it truly helps define her world and gives her the reasons to do everything that she does. So how do you reconcile if heaven and hell doesn't exist? What is this all about, and how should we even treat those that should be judged and punished? And this is where Kryon really helped me to see things, as Lee said, from the mind of God, even though God does not have a mind. But once you're in...
Hello, I'm God. I do have a mind. Can you stop talking for me? I have no idea what you're talking about. You're just pacing it out very long-windedly and basically trying to say that there is no judgment, which is nonsense. I hate the idea of people just committing crimes and getting away with it. But I also know that there's a lot of mad people on Earth, and I know that a lot of bad people on Earth who need to be punished for doing crimes for other people, and therefore you just let the bad hurt the bad, and you just hope that all the bad people kind of live in the similar kind of areas, or all the bad people just are drawn to other bad people and just create more badness and hurt each other, because then they're just hurting bad people. But yes, bad is a very flexible word, because bad could just be someone that swears a lot, or, well, not. I wouldn't say that bad is someone who swears a lot. Someone who just bad can mean a lot of different things. So
in the mind of God, we are here through free choice to choose.
Sorry, you're not here by free choice. You are here because you've been given a body, and we are here by free choice. No, you're here because your soul has been forced into a body, and the government isn't allowing suicide. So that is the reason why you're here, not by free choice, but by force.
Choose where we decide to take our consciousness as a collective, but the free choice is...
You get to decide where you take your consciousness to as a collective? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? How are you going to collectively decide to put your consciousness in a certain area? I mean, what she's talking about is nonsense.
Is whether you find the divinity within or not. It's as simple as that. We come here to find divinity within.
I think you can find a connection with your spirit to try and to help inspire you and stuff. But divinity, I think, I wouldn't say I'm divine. I wouldn't say that I'm divine, and therefore if you find me within you, I wouldn't say you found divinity. I don't even know what the finding... I think divinity is just like a sense of I am perfect to what I want to be. So I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for this moment in time and how I want to be. But divinity is, I don't even know what divinity is. Like perfection, but it's not, because I don't even know what finding divinity. What does that mean? I think it's just finding arrogance, believing you're better believing you're better than you are. That to me, what finding divinity means. Finding the divine power. I know a lot of people talk about finding the divine power, but I wouldn't call myself divine. So therefore, if you're finding the power of God within you, and you would say that's divine, I think maybe it's just not right for me to call this divine, because that would just make me incredibly arrogant. Whereas if you are sensing me inside you and you are calling that divinity, then I guess that's your personal choice. But yes, I wouldn't put myself up so high as to say that it's divinity.
Or not. You are not given free choice and then judged upon the choice you made.
No, actually, you are given free choice and then judged upon. That's the whole point of Earth. I do think that there is a world where you can do more things, but for you to do that, you have to first learn to think. You have to first learn to create. I don't know. I can't tell you, because I can't tell. I believe in a sort of Sabrina world where Sabrina goes through the cupboard, and there's some sort of fictional world where nothing exists, but it's like the Matrix. There's some fake rooms and stuff. I do believe in this, but I can't say that it's the truth, because I don't want to promote something unless I know that it's the truth, and I don't know that it's the truth. So, but I know that if there is this world, I would only let people get in there if they were able to make good choices on Earth, and therefore judging you on how you act on Earth is part of this process. How intelligent are you? How connected to senses? How connected to truth? How connected to other people's needs? And how do you care? How much do you care about others? But also, if you're not very caring, does that mean that you're a bad person? No, because if people have been very uncaring towards you throughout your whole life, it would be understandable why you'd be not caring towards others, because you felt like no one has been uncaring towards you. So there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to judgment, but there is a judgment, and I know that I will just ignore people until I feel that they are ready for the next stage, if there is a next stage. I don't even know if there is a next stage. I know I've created some timelines, so there is a world where you can time travel, and I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know, and I don't want to be like these people and just say this is what happens, this is what happens, this is what happened. I don't want to do that, because I judge things on evidence, not on just fantasies of what I believe.
So this is how we reconcile. You do not have heaven and hell, because you can't be judged on a choice that's given to you freely to choose.
So because you've been allowed to make choices, you can't be judged for being allowed to make choices. Is that what you're saying? I mean, you're not the one that's is making the timeline. You're not the one. You're not God. You're talking for God, and you're not God. So you can't say this. You can't say this. I am God, and I do judge people. I would judge people. I judge people as a human, and I think my higher self definitely judges. And okay, I know there's going to be a lot of people that hate me, but why they hate me is very important. If you hate me because you think I should be a vegan, and you don't like the idea of animals raised in farms, well, that's a good reason to hate me. Whereas if you hate me because you think I'm the Jezebel spirit, well, the Jezebel spirit is me, and that's just another insult. So I will judge you, but it's easier to judge you on how you judge me. If you're judging other people, like if you think someone's a bitch, and I'm looking at that person, I'm thinking, yeah, I think you're right, then I'm not going to judge you badly for thinking that. I'm just going to think, I think there's some truth. I'm going to say there's a lot of truth to it. But yeah, I don't judge people when it comes to small things, but I like to believe that bad people will get a worse quality of life, or get less opportunities, or be born in poorer countries, because this is fair.
then the other part that really helped me understand this was when you go to a play and you see the actors come and perform Shakespeare or some other kind of tragedy where you have a villain, you have a hero, and you really want to judge and punish the villain. That's what makes a good story. But when the play is finished and the actors come off stage and you meet them behind the scenes or even an interview, you don't judge the role of the actor that they played. That would be...
That's stupid. They've been given a script. No one's being hurt. If someone murders someone in a play, they're not actually being murdered. They're not actually being hurt. That's like saying if someone murders someone in real life, then when you both die, you don't judge them because they were just acting. No, they weren't acting. They've hurt someone. Does this woman not understand what it's like to be hurt? If someone hurts you, that other person shouldn't just get away with it. Shouldn't just be allowed to just continue and just continue hurting others. And I don't know what this woman's talking about.
Ludicrous to us. And so this is ludicrous to spirit, God, creator, whatever.
I'm God. Stop talking for me. No, if someone kills someone, I'm not going to be like, oh, they were just acting. No, they weren't just acting. Someone actually suffered.
The word you have to judge us for the role we chose to play.
I'm going to choose to be a murderer, and God's not going to judge me. Why? Because it's just a role play. It's just an act. I'm just killing people, but that's just an act. It's not who I actually am. It's just what I actually do. What? I swear this woman's... Look at her smiley face of her. She looks so... Look how happy I... You can't even see it in this video. Because her eyes look very dark in this, but in the camera, in this lighting that I'm looking at, she just looks so happy.
On earth. So hopefully for those who are listening to this that are potentially deeply offended by Lee and his statement of the conditioning, it's not our purpose to offend, it's merely to convey the loving messages we've had from Kryon and to hopefully help you reconcile that.
Not my opinion, it's all Cryon's opinion. These aren't things that I'm thinking, that I am believing. This is something that the voice in my head has told me, and therefore it must be the truth.
A little better.
Beautifully said, beautifully said. Now, has Kryon ever discussed the Anunnaki? It's a topic that he's ever discussed in the past?
Only briefly, and to say that we want to make all the visitations on this planet evil. We look at the movies. There's only two I can think of that are benevolent, and so what we expect from aliens here is what we have done and who we are. We are a conquering race. We still are. We're fighting with each other over whatever we fight with each other, and so the Anunnaki have become the ones who have come to steal our gold and do this and that and whatever. There may be something completely and totally different. Kryon has gone on to say there's a lot of the universe is teeming with life. Our galaxy knows us, and there are those who have come and gone for eons, and the Anunnaki is one.
So the Anunnaki have been here, and lots of other aliens have come here, and they're stealing our gold, and this is all the truth because Kryon told me, this spirit that's talking to me in my head. These people just sound like lunatics. Like they don't sound like lunatics, but what they're saying is insane, and it's based on nothing, and it's based on what the voice in my head told me, that there's lots of races of people, and the whole universe knows about us. We're like the star of the universe, and what the fuck? Why do people think that it's okay just to say shit?
One of them, he doesn't dwell in any of that because he says this is not. We're going to say this is not the place of divinity that you want to study. But human beings want to because it's just fascinating. I want to know all about all the aliens who were ever here and what they said and what they did and what they looked like and what they wanted and all. And Kryon says, relax. There'll come a time when they're going to meet you. And you'll realize why they were here and what they did, regardless of what they said they did or what your history said they did.
You know what I think he's missing? He's missing a hand puppet. Hi, I'm Cryon. Yes. Don't you think it's fascinating? All the things that I have to do it without my. I'm trying to do it. I've not done Bella Christian before. So yeah, I'm Cryon. Lots of things have been here. Lots and lots. Lots of alien species have been here. And I know this, and I'm going to tell you everything. You just need to listen to me. So this is what Cryon said. That's basically what he's. I think I am living on a planet full of mad people. That is what I think. I think there needs to be a test to see how many people think that aliens are real, how many people think angels are things with wings that come here. I just test how many people on this planet, are sane, because this is madness. This is total madness.
That they did, and you'll go, oh, they didn't. They don't have the same kind of agenda we would. If, like, when we were young on the planet and discovered other countries and immediately wanted to steal their gold and kill their people and take over. This is what humans do. So we've just assumed that everyone does that from outer space. Well, that's not correct.
Beautifully said. Now, there seems to be a lot of insanity happening in the world today. Like you were just saying, we're conquering, there's wars.
I think they're all insane.
There's more division than there has
People
ever
are talking
been.
about aliens.
What does Cryon and both of you say about why this is happening now? Because we seem to be more divided than we've ever been, or at least seems that we are more. Maybe we're just more aware of the divisions because we have social media and the internet. But why is this happening, and what do you foresee happening in the near future, as long as we continue to go down this path? We're talking about political divisions. We're talking about economic divisions. We're talking about countries. We're talking.
Define divisions. That's to me, that's the best one to talk about. The other one is the wars on the planet and all of that. That was fully expected. Cryon talked about it, and the ones who were involved are the ones Cryon talked about would be involved. That is not even. As a world and countries, we're probably more alive now than we ever were. And I can give you chapter and verse if you ask that one. But the divisions that we're seeing, that I agree with you absolutely, totally, especially when you were saying back in the 80s, there was, I think congressmen were talking about, they used to have a baseball game on a regular basis. Yeah, where they had the both sides of the aisle would come and play. They can't do that anymore. They probably throw rocks at each other instead. So where has that been? Cryon actually defined that as well. And he said there'll come a day when you turn on the light and the dirt will show. And when the dirt starts to show, you won't be able to believe it, that it's been there all the time. And that dirt has to do with so many things that are wrong and always have been wrong. And whether it's the biases we were taught, whether it's the I would say all of the stuff that we spend money on, all of the...
Are they speaking English? I'm trying to understand this. I don't even know what the question was, because if this guy ever interviews me, he has to make the questions short, because I don't even know why is the division happening. That is what I'm saying. And this guy has responded by saying, all the dirt is going to be shown. All this is going to be known. Everything that Zion was saying about the wars that would happen, they would all happen. But why? That was the question. Why is it happening? Why is there a division? I'm pretty sure that was the... I think he needs to, this Alex guy needs to shorten the questions to make it a bit more clearer. But yeah, he's not answering the questions, and he's just saying everything that he said was going to happen has happened, and the dirt will be shown, and this...
Greed that's there, it all has shaped us into wanting to do certain kinds of things because we're told they're right or wrong. But if you take a look at the basis for them, it usually comes down to money and greed. And that drives hate. It drives dissension. All of these kinds of things, Cryon said, are going to be solved when you finally understand that the answer is just the opposite. There's going to be, and Cryon said, eventually there's going to be a younger, candidate or candidates or even a party that's going to come along and not assassinate the other side or assassinate those they're running with and have compassion for them, congratulate them. You're going to see a whole different kind of politics, and the people are going to go, oh, it's about time. I'm voting for this person, whether it's a man or a woman, right now.
Okay, he did eventually answer the question. He said it's greed and money, which is the reason why there's division and stuff. And I think it's more than that. I don't think it's always greed and money. I think it's a hatred towards each other. People have been programmed to just think about themselves and to only think about themselves. Jesus and the religion that they have right now doesn't teach about how to care about others. I know there's a whole love your neighbor as yourself, and some people take that seriously, and that's good. But most of it is seeking Jesus for their own sake, seeking Jesus for rewards, seeking Jesus to get into heaven, seeking God for their own knowledge, their own satisfaction, and it's taught people to seek something, but to not really think about other people's needs, and to lie if they feel that they can, and that there's religion is probably one of the main reasons for division, because it teaches people that if someone worships something different to you, then that's good. So if you were to ask me why I think there's so much division, I don't think it's money and greed. I think it's that there's religion and false preachings, false beliefs, false teachings, people being told that it's okay to lie. If you don't know something, if you don't know what the afterlife is like, it's fine to just go on camera and teach people that, one of my first rules would be to always try and stick to as much truth as you possibly can. And if you want to start giving your beliefs, always refer to it as your belief. Because when you start lying, this is when confusion sets in. You might be helping people by telling them all the amazing things that Jesus have done for you. But if you don't know that Jesus did that for you, then actually all you're doing is creating a false God, a false Christ. And you're teaching people that it's fine to lie, because they might realize that actually God or Jesus didn't do all these things for you. Or why is it Jesus doing those things for you and not them? There's people are dumb. People are dumb, and they don't realize the suffering that they might be causing on others by going on about, oh yeah, I had cancer, but Jesus healed me, because they might be like, well, my husband died of cancer and my husband didn't get killed. You don't know people's circumstances and what might have worked for you. If you start saying that it's God, and religion is such a big part on it, and people thinking that it's fine to just say whatever they want. I have no idea who this Cryon is. I don't believe they're talking to anyone. To think that it's fine to preach about a voice in their head and call it Cryon and say that Cryon has all the answers, and Cryon knows, this solution or why this happened, and told us, all this lies about alien beings coming here. This is part of the problem, people lying, but they're not going to realize that. They're not going to say that, not going to preach that. Why? Because they are lying. How can you preach that lying is wrong when they themselves are just lying? And part of it is having someone that teaches the right things and teaches what is important and truth, learning to only say something if it's the truth. I should be coming to a world where I can say that I'm Christ and people would take me seriously. Why? Because no one lies about being Christ. So why can't I just tell people that I'm Christ and have people care or believe? It's because they don't believe in God. All this nonsense about this false God. God loves you, God can do everything, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for lies because they've been preached lies, they've been told lies, and they're confused.
Now, we're still trying to assassinate each other, right? Verbally, even before we have the debates. And that cannot last that long. A country...
This need, I'm better than you, I know more things than you are, I'm more right than you are. This is one of the problems. Everyone thinks that they have the solution, they have the answers, and you are just one more person, because you will come saying that Cryon has the answers and I can tell you the answers through Cryon, and other people are going to be like, no, we don't think you're talking to anyone, because you're not talking to anyone, you're just lying, and therefore any argument or debate that he tries to get into with people, they are going to refuse to believe that he's talking to someone because he's not talking to someone, and therefore it's just going to turn into an argument.
Cannot last with that going on. And so we are starting to get into this fight, if you want to call it, that Cryon said would take place. It is a battle of dark consciousness and light consciousness.
It's battle versus people who want to tell the truth and just focus and think about the truth versus people that are insane and think that it's fine to just say whatever they want and get away with it because there's no proof that they're wrong. Just because there's no proof that you're wrong, that doesn't mean you're right. And therefore, if there's no proof that you're right, then you shouldn't be saying what you're saying because there's no proof to back up what you're saying.
And Christ says the light will eventually win when the public sees just how dark it can be.
I think when people know that I'm God and know that how many people don't believe in me, how many people reject me, I really want to have a bunch of interviews where people say that I can't be God. People say anything they want against me. And then you show the evidence that I am God, and you show the number of people that are willing to lie. I do not believe that Satan is a real person. I do not believe in demons. I do not believe in aliens. I don't think there are life on other planets, but they have not come here. Anyone that's talking about this, if people watched this interview and thought that this guy really was talking to someone in his head, they'd be impressed. But if they knew that people like him are not talking to people in his head, all the information that he's giving, okay, some of it's true, there's some truth in it, but most of it is lies. They would really see these people as, he looks like a priest, he looks like a decent, trustworthy guy. Now if you knew that everything that God is here on earth and is actually confirming that everything this guy is saying is actually just him lying through his arse, basically, you'd really see how dark this place is, because you'd see how many people just lie, and they don't think they're lying. I don't even understand how they can't think that they're lying. You're not talking to anyone. You're giving your beliefs, your opinions, calling it someone else's opinions in hope of getting more justice or getting more people to believe in what you think is right, when it's just opinions. That's all it is.
So it's almost like in the movies where you're tired of it and everybody stands up and goes, enough. Give us somebody who's going to run this country, or give us some candidates who have compassion and care and don't want to assassinate each other, please.
That's me, but unfortunately I do want to assassinate people. Why? Because there's so many liars like this, and I'm getting fed up of how many people there are that will just lie and not care.